What's up, guys? Casey Santana here with Chief Entertainment with another episode for Rich Soil Podcast. I got another guest on deck today. What's up, Miss Ife?
Hi, thank you for having me.
She is the founder of ETC. If you guys don't already know, she does these amazing lives on Instagram. Is it just on Instagram right now?
Yes, it's just I do have a YouTube platform where I just actually kind of post them to YouTube. So I have a YouTube channel as well, which is called ETC
Yes.
Everything Cannabis. So
Yeah.
definitely look for me on YouTube. But like yourself, I would like to transition to a bigger platform, eventually. But right now, yes, Instagram.
I can't say enough about the YouTube audience. They are just a different audience. And shout out to YouTube. Thank you for letting us do what we do for cannabis. I'm excited to have you on. It's been a minute, and I think it's been a year now. I think our Emerald
Yeah.
Cup is kind of like the mark of like for sure we've known each
Yeah.
other for that long. So it's a pleasure to be in your presence at all times. You are one classy lady in the industry, and that's one thing that I respect very much about you. And you're doing great things. You're interviewing some amazing guests. So shout out to you and all the guests that you've had. What's up? What's been going on? I know you hit all those events, and you're always that's the other thing you do good about is capturing the event. As a mom, sometimes I don't get to go out often, so seeing those through your page, I'm like, that was amazing. I think there's the farmer market one that you've gone to. You go to several ones. So tell me what's new, what's popping right now.
Well, what's new, what's popping right now? So, Puff Dow has their Pride event that's coming up, and that's going to be Saturday. And it's going to be out here in Santa Monica Boulevard. So they have their Pride event coming up, which I think is really cool. It's awesome. And then also Saturday is the Kush Babes, and they're really doing some big things out in San Diego. They're having like an infused dinner that they have light bites with infused, and then some other things. It's a buffet, so they're gonna really and I like that. I love that because they're doing something a little different. So I wanted to go check that out as well. And the Olympics, as you know, they're doing their thing Saturday as well. All these Saturday events going on, um, which is perfect. And then Sunday is going to be Compassion and Healing. They're doing their Father's Day event, and they're doing like a little brunch dinner for the fathers and all the veterans that go there this Sunday. So I am definitely going to go and partake in some of those events this week, and just be about community because that's really what it's about. And it's nice to see people flourishing out here that I've saw start from the beginning and where they are now.
Yeah, I love
Uh,
doing. I think both of you and I can say we love doing what we do because we get to hear the backstory. We get to hear how they got there. And then it just creates that relationship with these people to where when you're out at the events and you see them, you have that rapport already there, which is nice to have. So it goes a lot further than the hearts and the and the likes sometimes, you know what I mean?
mhm.
That's one thing about you as well as you've been very organic and authentic about your support. You've been to many of my small meetup where for the women events, and
I've been there.
you do a lot in the industry, which I can appreciate very much because it is a tough industry, especially when it's not lucrative for many of us. And so I can respect all the time that you put in to educate the people through your platform as a woman and as an educator in the space. So, with that said, I wanted to highlight what you do now and where you came from, how you got here. I know you're very passionate about educating people about the plant and about cannabis. Um, First off, I do usually ask most of my guests about their morning routines. And obviously, cannabis is part of it. And I probably should have been very specific about this on my question because everyone's writing just cannabis or cannabis and coffee. I'm like, okay, if we were to already take our weed and already smoke up and already get our coffee, if that's your thing, do you have a fitness routine? I guess I'm going to intertwine that. So obviously we know you're puffing in the morning. Maybe you're not. Maybe you're like more an edible tincture. You tell us.
Mhm. So in the mornings, I do usually like puff because I always have like one joint or a half one kind of just laying around from maybe the night before. So I'm like, yay!
Perfect.
So
Yep.
I definitely get up, puff, have a cup of tea or coffee, just depending, maybe some orange juice, depending on how the morning is. And then there are times where I just do my meditation, just kind of chill before the day gets started and trying to get in my head like, hey, what are we doing next? Where are we going? What do you see yourself? How's the business going? So they have all these things that are going on too as well before I go and I release it. Then I take my ass to the gym because it's necessary. Um, and I like literally I get on a bike for about 15 minutes straight, hardcore and just going and music on and just a sweat of drench just dripping
Amen.
down.
Yeah.
And there's like nothing better to know that you are really putting in the work for yourself and for your body, to be that better person. And then I dropped CBD. I always take a tincture of CBD, put it under my tongue before I go work out, because I noticed that there's times when like my joints and my knees and then my ankles and stuff are sometimes hurting.
Yeah.
And with CBD, it literally does ease up my pain in my joints, and it's giving me a better workout when I am on the bike, so that I can
Mhm.
actually go hard, a little harder as well. And I want to.
Mobility, I bet.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Getting them lubed, those bones lubed and those joints lubed, I bet. I'm gonna try
The
that.
right
I'm
one.
gonna try, yeah, I'm gonna try some
Yeah.
CBD before I work out. I haven't tried
Mm-hmm.
it. I know I've tried it like after, because most people are like, oh, do it after for post, for recovery. But I think what you're doing is smart, because it's like an intermittent. So by the time you are done, that recovery is already in its motion. So
Exactly.
tips, guys. Make sure you do that.
Exactly. Yeah.
The other thing, thank you for sharing that, is I always ask if you guys have a mentor in your life. It can be anybody, it can be, somebody that's a motivational speaker, just anybody that you consider. Who did you list as a mentor for yourself?
Miss Deborah Lee Sullivan is who I mentioned as a mentor for myself. She is a farmer, has been farming for about 12 years. And she's a lead singer for Rebel Rockers. She used to sing with Bob Marley and Wailers back in the day, at some of their concerts. And I thought that was so cool. And she ended up just going out. She's like, I had land and I wanted a house and I wanted away from everybody. And it's called Peace Avenue. It's like the area, and I love it because she was able to name it what she wanted. It's her serenity, it's her place. She's able to grow and do what she wants to do there on the farm. And she's such a stickler. Like I can get on the phone and I talk to her about it. Like I could say something, the littlest thing about the plant or littlest thing about cannabis, and she's on it. She knows exactly what I'm talking about. And I know exactly what she's talking about. And she's 69, she's about to be 70. Yeah,
Wow.
exactly. And
That's
so
great.
I've been blessed to be able to, help her with the cultivation. Like I'm literally with the shovel in my hand with my garden gloves on and, hair back in my shirt. I threw my Papa Barkley shirt on, my solventless shirt, because, I had to
Young
bring it,
man.
I'm in the farm. So I want to put that energy out there. So we're out there and we're digging and we're going, and it's just literally me and her. And I got through to about 1.5 greenhouses, and like literally I did majority of the one by myself, just digging these holes, just putting the plants in.
Yeah.
And it was therapeutic. It was so therapeutic for me. And
Mhm.
then it was a learning lesson too, because I got to see how their soil is. I got to see the little Japanese beetles that, oh my God, okay, smash that sucker. Okay, da da da, this and that. I let the ladybugs out, the manatees and that. So it was nice to be able to be among her and to see what she does. And even though I know, I still learn more,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know,
Growing,
and
always learning.
I can tell her, hey, the market is not this low anymore. You don't have to sell yours for 1,000. No, that's way too low. I was like, whoever your people are, the price is going up. We cannot, so it's like, and she's like, she mentors me and I mentor her.
Hmm.
And it's a very great situation. And she's always, I love the fact that she's like, no, I just don't worry about coming today. I need my peace.
I was gonna say she comes with a lot of wisdom, I'm sure.
I
And
mean, she's like, I need some
at
dates
that age,
by.
they keep it
Yeah.
a buck.
Yeah,
Yeah, I can respect that.
she's definitely like, oh, I'm fine today. Don't worry about it. I'll see you another day. And I'm like, you know what? Respect. But I just love the fact that, and my niece, she's showing my niece and teaching my niece about cultivation. And like, I have to tell my niece about how important it is because my niece is young and she has a
Oh,
baby,
oh, nice.
Yeah. So she's mom a farmer. And, I have my little great nephew out there and I'm giving him a plant, and he has his little garden, but he has little boots on. So
Yep,
he
they
said,
love
and
it.
I'm like, here you go. He
Yep.
takes a plant, he's walking, I put him tell him where to put the plant, he puts it over, I help him a little bit, and we plant it. And that's what making it normal is,
Yep.
because it is a medicine and
Yep.
it is a plant, and it is normal to plant. So why are we making it such a big deal? So if you start young, there's never going to be an issue. It's all about how you teach people. So it's very nice. I definitely like what has happened in this past year, and I love the growth that everyone's doing. But Miss Deborah Lee Sullivan, y'all, check her out.
Your heart. I feel
Yeah.
that. Yeah, no, I can't. I totally agree. I'm the same with my little ones. People can argue it all day, but it's right by my Keurig. I don't hide it. My daughter sees the jars and she's very much aware of the plant. My
Mhm.
son's always fucking around with the trimmings when I did grow. But yeah, I didn't keep him away from my indoor grows. They were very much part of the watering process. I think at one point, I had my daughter in like she was still in like one of the carriages, like the ones you still carry, the car seat type of thing. So I put her out there on the stool, and then my son was playing with just like the random leaves that you would take off. So it's like they are part of this experience and this journey that we're on, and they don't know no difference between the lavender and the rosemary, and
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
exactly how I want them to understand it. And when if school happens, because I'm very on my own homestead type of mother type of instinct right now as far as where I want my kids to go, because they're only 2 and 4, so I have that option. They
I
will be
respect that. I respect
where
that. I respect that.
thank you. It's hard. I have my son who, most likely may be on the spectrum, and so right now I am already practicing some different ways of how to help him with plant medicine. And some people can argue that all they want, but it's better than putting them on any sort of pharmaceutical or opioid that would
Oh,
in
oh,
his
yes, you already
entire
know that.
body, and you know where that goes. So I appreciate that you as auntie. I wish you were my sister. um,
Oh.
but you're, sharing that with your nephew and that information with an elderly lady that, like you said, isn't able to get into where the culture is now, because obviously she's older, so she's not going to the events. She probably doesn't use Google or, have time to look at shit online. You're doing great. I love that you're out in the community and being just 100 with your lifestyle. I think that really is what is going to break the stigma that we show is it's part of our life. It's not, it's like our vitamins. You're going to the gym faded, you're going to work faded, you function on a high level, you're elevated, you're medicated. Talking about Bob Marley, if you listen to the way they sing and their music and their lyrics, it's like, most of the time nowadays hip hop, they're talking about like some random lady or some random bitch, to be honest.
Yes, you are.
um their reggae music, specifically like Bob Marley's music, and I'm talking about like even his sons, they speak of the plant like as if that's their lover, like, and I love the level of respect and the way they express the way it helps them elevate themselves, and how they are able to express so much creativity through it. um is amazing, and it makes me only prouder to be in this space. And I'm just proud to be in a space with you as well as women. I think it's a privilege that we get to do what we do. Let's jump into what you do. Obviously it looks like cannabis has been part of your life since you were born. You came out puffing, baby. I'm just kidding.
Basically.
But your parents obviously consumed, you said, and
Mhm.
were they growing? Tell us how that was about, and then tell us kind of like how you got your hands on it and how you
Well,
started.
I could always remember, so I have to go back to my grandfather. I can always actually go. Both sets of grandparents were always farm planters and farmers, honestly. And I grew up in New Jersey, and so New Jersey is a garden state. And some of them did like I think my grandmother from my mom's side came from the South and met my grandfather at the Northeast coast. And they just started a family. And my grandfather has always had a big garden in the backyard. I can always remember growing up and like picking carrots and picking this and picking that. And it was just like, what the hell? Why are we doing this? The next thing I realized as I got older, what it was, I was like, oh, that's awesome. But not only that, he actually had the lights and the visitation and everything downstairs in the basement. So I didn't, yeah, right.
Sneaky grandpa.
So yeah, so I didn't know what the lights and stuff were. And I realized it's like, wow, that's where I get my interest from. It's like wanting to plant and we grew up with plants everywhere, all different types of plants. Like the house is full of plants. Like that's what we did. My mom too, as well. So she got that from them. And growing up looking at them, I got it. And then my mom was always smoking, she never hid it. Uh, she never hit it. She would just do it. And I was always off playing sports and trying to go to school, trying to do something. And I really wasn't paying attention to it until I got into like my teenage years. And then I started smoking and then my mom caught me.
How did that happen?
And
How'd you get your hands on it? Did you
so
steal?
well, besides having older brothers and sisters,
Oh, you do have siblings. Okay.
yeah, I have an older brother. Well, I
That
have two
makes total
sisters,
sense.
one younger and one older, and like two
Given.
older brothers. So,
Yeah.
so my brother would have it, but I actually had my friends get it. And then we were in high school. So I was probably like 15, 16.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, we're smoking and stuff, riding around. One time, one of the friends, he had to eat the blunt because the cops pulled us over. This is back in the day, like,
Yep.
I'm like, eat it.
Yep.
Sorry.
Yeah, rolled up.
Yeah, so Nelson was high the whole time. And and then going back to my mom and my dad, they literally, like, my dad would always use it. My dad would always use it to meditate. So that's how he introduced it to him. He would always smoke and go meditate, and that was his thing. So I thought it was awesome. Now my mom, she caught me with it, and it's when I was like 16, I think, in the bathroom in my room, and I closed the bathroom door because my mom had to, like, because I had the one that had the bathroom in it, the room that had the bathroom in it, right? Mm-hmm. But then her ass took the damn door off, the other door that got into into the room. So
yeah,
that bullshit. I was like, whatever, mom. So literally, all I could do was shut the door in the bathroom. So I lit an incense and I was gone. I was going to town.
Oh, I love incense. Yeah,
man. I was like, she'll never find me. She'll never figure this out, man. She knocked
right.
on that door so fast.
So smart at that age, right? It was so sneaky.
I was like, she's not gonna find me. I like that. Just get high, bitch. What? Next thing I know, I was like, whoa, whoa. I was like,
heart drop. See, this is what caused our society, our generation, to have anxiety.
Oh. It was all over. My mom was like, what are you doing? I was like, nothing. Are you smoking? Yes. Open the door. She took my damn joint and smoked it and left. Took it, hit it, blew it out of my face, and walked away with it. I said, bitch. Yep. Never forget that. Love you, Mom. But I was just like, this mug, are you serious? Did she really do that?
Not in my house. Yep.
Sure. And didn't bring it back. I was like, shit. So I learned not to smoke in the house again.
Yep.
At that point, I was just like, oh, let me go outside somewhere, hide out in the forest somewhere.
At least be more discreet. Yeah, out of respect. Yep.
Yeah, out of respect. And an incense wasn't going to cover it up. That's what I did love.
Yeah.
I learned real quick. But yeah.
Back in the days, not so much anymore. I mean, I don't get them anymore. But back in the day, I lit a couple and think like, oh, we're good. We're solid. A little vanilla here and there. We're solid.
No big deal.
Well, that's cool, Mom. She didn't flip out. I got caught with a sack of weed and got my ass whooped. Anyone that knew me from high school, that was a big deal because it led to like finding all types of other bullshit of me being in trouble in high school. And I was just, I didn't want to go to school. I was just one of those people. Once I started working, I was happy working, and I was a very social butterfly. So I was cool with just like, I guess, going to school, but going to just like the art class and the ceramics class.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
I always had me because I was working too. So, it was, it was a good time. It was a good time. Lots of lessons learned during that time, I should say. But, okay, cool. So I appreciate you sharing a little bit about your parents consuming. I love that they were basically open with you, and that your farming lineage is coming from your grandfather, and who knows, maybe his grandfather too. But it's the same for me. My grandma is still on a farm out in El Salvador, and my father's from the Philippines, so they have a little bit of land there. And it's something that I find very therapeutic myself, and so I can completely relate to that. tell me how you got to the cannabis space. Like what so you're in New Jersey till about what age, and then what got you to California?
So I was in Jersey till I think I was about 13. And then we moved out, and then my mom moved us to it was Louisville, Kentucky. It would be funny. And then yeah, no, we didn't stay there very long. Maybe about 3, 4 years, and then from there she finally moves to Charlotte, thank God, North Carolina. Um, and my first actually weed experience did come from when I lived in Kentucky with her. Um, the real experience. This time, she allowed me to, like, she talked to me about it, and she was like, "Hey, this is how it is. This is how it's supposed to be used." And with my dad, her as well wanted to use it as a meditation method. You know, she was talking about how the plant was healing and all that, and I thought it was great. And so as I grew up, I just kind of saw what it did and how people were smoking, and then I got smart about it, and I was like, well, hold on, this is really healing. This really does help. This really does, calm people's nerves, and, like, it calms my anxiety down. And I'm like, well, we need to see it a different way.
Oh.
And I told myself, I was like, I don't know how I'm going to be in cannabis, but I'm going to be in cannabis somehow. And this when I was young, I was like freaking 19, 20. Like, oh no, I don't know what it's gonna be, but I know it's gonna be bigger than what I could even imagine, you
Yeah.
know? And it really has been, and it continues to take off. And I'm just like, okay, might need to hire someone now, like that part. But as I got older, yes, I was around a lot of my friends were Jamaicans. They had weed.
Yeah.
Yes, I sold weed. I did. I had to. There's no way around getting what you needed, and getting the money and doing things in life. And so that's what I learned as well, like what was good, like the quality of it from back then to now, totally night and day. Thank God, because it's way so much trash back then. But better growers, better quality. And I learned a little bit about the ins and outs from there. And then I went to college. It was all over. It's all over. There was more weed in college than I've ever seen in my life.
Where did you go to college?
I went to Shaw University in Raleigh, North Carolina, and it was a HBCU school, a little small one.
Okay.
But like we had all the island people there, so you already know it was popping. And then the athletes was more athletes smoke than anybody, and thank God that is okay because they're still smoking.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And it was more the athletes that were smoking and had it more than anybody else,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, there's something to it. And I just got hip to it. And I was like, let me learn and let me really learn about this. And I started watching documentaries. I see this couple that started in Seattle, like way back in the day, like before he was heard about, like 2013, 2012. I'm like, good God, you've been doing what? And the gold rush for them, and then just how it trickled. And then I was like, you know what? I really want to take this to a different level. And then I ended up moving. I was in Atlanta for a while, and I knew some growers out there, and it was just everywhere in the city. You go to every club, they were smoking, and it was that fire. I'm talking about, you could not get in the club if you weren't smoking that. Like they didn't care if they smelled that, like it wasn't good, you got kicked out. No,
That
and it
sugar.
was serious. Yeah, like it was all over. So Atlanta is definitely a big mecca as well for cannabis. Like it's
Hmm.
California cannabis, is all they were selling out there.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, so I got into it a little bit there, but then I wanted it to be, like you said, I wanted to be legal. I wanted to be in the legal realm. I'm like, well, how do I do that? Moved out here to California, so I was acting as well because I act on my other job. I was acting as well, and then a couple of friends of mine back then when I moved out here were like, hey, we should start a group.
Oh
So
yeah.
we started the group. Um, we just had different visions, so we were like, you know what, we'll just go, let's just do this, do that. It's like, cool. So went our separate ways, and I started ETC, Everything Cannabis. And when I started, I was so scared
Yeah.
because it was just me, but I wanted to make a difference. I wanted to educate people, not just be just another person putting out content, and nothing wrong with the content, but it's just like there's more to it than just
A pretty face.
hey, yeah, pretty face, and nothing wrong with big tits, ladies, but you know what I'm talking about. It's like
Yep.
there's an education process with it. Like I like women who not only do you have a body and you're beautiful and you're bad as fuck, but you're also smart and you're educating, like you're giving something back instead of just looking and being and
Yeah.
posing with something, like you're actually giving back to the people, and you're showing and showing people too that stigma of like, but not just because I look like this does not mean I'm dumb.
Yeah.
Because because unfortunately in the world right now, women are always looked at as a certain way if you look a certain
First.
way or act a certain way.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, we're not all like that. Like we're very smart. And so I wanted to show a different light with what I was doing, but I also wanted to bring people on and give them a platform too, to be seen, to be heard, to get their information out so people can understand and know what's going on with their companies and their brands, and how they feel about the laws that are getting passed or how long they've been in the industry. So these people have been in for a long time before they even got with the companies
Yeah.
that they're working for, and
Right.
they're putting in the work way beforehand,
Mhm.
in the communities, and and being out there when they're at the court and they're petitioning, or going
Yeah.
up there speaking,
Yeah. Back to
it's
that. Yeah, for sure.
yeah, it's important to back these people and to be about it because they're the ones that are out there fighting when you can't get there
Yep.
you know so give them a place to be seen, give them a place to be heard. And even these new companies that are coming up, they where can you advertise, for free, you know and get people to come on and see you and be seen and be heard. Like this is where it's at. Like I
Yep.
think this is one of the best ways to do it um in the industry, and it's been great for me. For me, I love it. It's been wonderful. I'm like, and I'm not the typical interviewer. I don't want you to come on my
Right.
show and feel awkward or feel like this. People are always like, send me a list of the questions you're gonna ask me. That's my least favorite thing. Honestly, I hate that shit. Just fucking get on the show and let me talk to you about some shit. You'll see. And
Yep.
there's something that is off limits, just tell me ahead of time, hey, well, this particular thing I'd rather not talk about. But
Yeah.
other than that, it's like when you're
Yeah.
on my show,
Yep.
I'm it, I'm so easy. I'm so like, be comfortable, smoke, enjoy yourself, and let's get into who you are, because it's really fun to hear with these people what they've been doing in the industry and the community.
Yeah.
And some of them have really been through hell. They've been locked up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's
Some
a
of these white
whole
people have been
other,
locked up. I'm sorry, I have to say that. I'm like, what? Get out.
a
I'm
lot.
like, what?
Yeah.
You were
Yeah.
locked up? Get out of here. They're like, no, yes, honey. They didn't care. I was like, good Lord.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. It's like, whoa, how the hell did that happen? Or what? And then you hear the stories, and well, I was really just trying to do this, and everybody was really just trying to make money to live and survive.
Right.
At the end of the day, that's
Yep.
really all it was, you
Yeah.
know.
100%. I think it's a blessing to be able to hear their stories and for us women to be able to give them a platform to share. So I love what you're doing. Continue to keep doing what you're doing. Respect to you leaving the circle that did not work out for you, because I know the industry is really big. So a lot of us women tend to get excited when we meet other women in the industry, and you just sometimes find out that not everybody's aligned as far as values, and the vision is always your own vision. So sometimes people don't see that, and there's nothing wrong with you, going your own way and spreading your wings and doing it the way you want to do it. So you've done an amazing job. I've watched several of your interviews and I do love them. So I know I enjoy watching you show some of the product. Usually you're pretty good about having some of their products on hand
Yeah.
beforehand. You have
I'll
some
always
right
have a product.
now. What is that one?
So this is the grenade from Habit, and this is 100 milligrams of THC, strawberry lemonade. So it'll texture, yeah. And then I mixed it. Then I just mixed it with strawberry
That's what
lemonade.
you're drinking. Okay.
Yeah, I only did 20 milligrams because I was like, hold on, Ife, don't you do that to yourself,
That's
okay?
that's a good milligram or dose, I
Yeah,
should say. Well, because you're smoking too, right?
yeah, yeah. And I'm smoking this peanut butter breath from Top Shelf.
Peanut butter
Yeah.
bread. Does
And
it show the
Top Shelf.
cultivar?
Yeah, and no, it's Top Shelf. Oh yeah, it's Top Shelf Cultivation Award. And they were in they actually were in Emerald Cup too this
Top
year.
shelf. Oh, for
They
their
placed.
flower?
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah, they played. Yep, they did some good stuff, and it's really good. Like I open it up, it's like smack me in my face. But yeah, this is like the nug.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Nice.
Got it
I
going
can
on.
appreciate it. Yep.
Like, yeah. Smells
Yep.
so good too.
I'm
I love it.
smoking some Wakanda burger from Rosentex sauce
Yeah.
line. Yeah, I've got
You
some.
know, I know you love your rosin. Okay.
You know what?
Solid.
Yeah, I've learned, in the past 2 years of me transitioning. I mean, I've always loved my flower. I cannot deny my flower and my bong rips. Like, I could take like two dabs and still
Yeah.
crave that bong rip. I don't know. I'm an old school chick and I love my bongs, but sometimes when they're dirty, I just don't have the time to clean them. And having, something like this or the dip device, those are easy to have. And as a mama, sometimes you just gotta go. You just gotta hit your thing and go. That's
I'm
my
out.
story of my life.
Right. I have a dab X, so I like it because I connected to my bong. It's such a I don't know what it is about having some water in it when you're hitting it. It's such a smoother
I think that's what it
taste,
is.
you know?
And I
I
grew up
love it.
on bongs. Like I have over a dozen bongs from little to big. I think, at some point I've hit a 6 footer. It's been
Oh
fun.
my
Yeah.
God.
I've had
Oh
quite
my
the journey.
God.
I've been smoking
How did your
weed
lungs
for a really
handle
long
that? That's a
time.
lot of fucking smoke.
Most people that have known me for a long time will say I have a really high tolerance, and that's probably why, because I've always consumed out of big bongs. So, one
Mhm.
big rip. But yeah, no, I mean nowadays I'm not doing fucking 6 footers. But gravity bongs out of like, the big 5 liters of those Home Depot buckets and just done crazy things. Living in the empire, it's boring as hell. We don't do shit. You're like near dairy lands, you're near fields. So there was a lot of smoking weed for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, Thank you for sharing that. I appreciate it. Like I said, you do a great job with your shows and your interviewing. Um, if I were to say, what's your service, your one service that you want to be known for ETC back to our community?
I want to be known for the educational service.
Yep.
Definitely, really being someone who really is wanting to educate people about the brands that are out here, the people behind the brands too. It's very important that we understand who is behind these brands, who are growing our weed. The stuff that we're smoking has energy. People are growing these plants, and these plants have energy. They're putting their energy into it. So it's very important to have companies that have integrity, to buy from companies that have integrity. If you know more and more about these people, then you're inclined more and more to either purchase from this particular company because you like who they are and where they're coming from, or decide for yourself, oh, this is not, I don't like their integrity. This is not going to work for me. I don't want to put that into my body. People understand we take it in. Our body is a vessel. It absorbs everything. So what we're smoking, you have to make sure you have the best intent that is going into those plants because the best intent is going into you when you smoke it. So
Yep.
I would say education.
Okay. You guys heard that. You guys make sure you guys are following her so you guys stay up on that education because the industry is always rapidly growing and moving in all types of directions.
Absolutely.
And you said that very well. I think it is important that you continue to do that because there's many of people that still don't have the access to education or even know where to go about it. And I think the way you're doing it to where you're having these light, open conversations is organic and it's easily absorbed. So keep doing what you're doing. I know primarily your network is a little bit of both. You have both men and women that you cater to. You've always been a supportive individual of the women's space as well. I've seen you at many women events, so thank you for that. Is there a place where we can find you and people can connect with you and then make sure that we support you on ETC?
Yes, you can find me on ETC underscore everything cannabis. You have to spell it out, and that's on Instagram. Also, you can catch me on YouTube. It's ETC underscore everything cannabis as well. So that's my channel. Subscribe to that because I'll be posting some of our newer interviews that I have, and there's some really good juicy stuff that's in there. Um, and also, eventually I'm going to be coming out, with pre-rolls and a brand as just cultivating. We're getting things in the works right now. So, and let's see, where will I be this weekend? If you want to come hang out with me,
Yeah.
I think I'm going to San Diego on
Ooh, okay.
Saturday. Yeah, just to kind of see what they're doing out that way,
There's a
I
veterans
feel,
walk out there. I'll have to send it to you.
yeah, yeah. Is there? Okay, awesome. Yeah, I
Yeah.
would definitely love to kind of go by and check it out. But I just kind of want to see what different pockets of cities and people are doing with cannabis. And I think it's very important if you're going to be everything cannabis to get out and see everything cannabis in the different pockets. And it's nice to go to particular events, but you don't want to. You don't want to keep going to the same ones. You're not learning. You're not getting to know the new brands and the
Yep.
people and what's going on. So I think it's really important for everybody if you when you get into this to branch yourself out. Don't just keep going to the same events. Don't keep doing the same thing because it's going to get boring. Go meet
Yep.
other people,
Yep.
learn, enjoy the space. Find your canna family.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's great that you're checking out the different cities because I know LA's always popping and will always be popping, but I think it's beneficial for other people to branch out like you're doing. So, ups to you. Before I let you go, we're gonna do a rapid seven type of. It's a rapid five, quick questions. So basically, you can answer in one sentence or one word, and it's basically just called 7 grams. And you can pick one or the other. It's going to be like an A B type of answer. All right, you ready to rock?
Okay. Let's go.
You could puff, you could do whatever you need to before.
Okay.
Okay, so number one, introvert or extrovert?
Ooh, it's a little bit of both.
Okay,
Depends.
okay,
What-
okay, I'll take that. I think it's
mhm.
called ambivert. I had another guest that said there's something in between that, so I'll have to add that
Yeah,
in. But if
yeah.
you were to lean on one more, which one would you say?
I would say I'm probably would you say introvert or extrovert?
Yeah, which one?
Extrovert because it's
Extrovert.
yeah, because it's out, right? It's not in, introvert's in, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
make
Yep.
sure.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, perfect. And we're gonna go on to number two, yoga or weightlifting.
Weightlifting, of course.
I know, right? Always does its job. Okay, and we're gonna have you pick from either one of these. If you were to pick your strain for today, and your options are King Louis the 13 or Super Silver Haze.
I'm going out.
Put some
Okay,
old stuff on there.
I know it's stiff. Uh, okay, super silver
Super
haze.
Silver Haze. Okay, we got that one came from our sativa line. All right, hardcover book or an audio book.
Audiobook.
Okay. Sun grown or indoor flower.
In between
Living soil.
living soil.
Living soil. It does. It works. Okay, I can respect that. And name your favorite cartoon when you were just either your favorite cartoon now if you're still watching them, but as you were growing up, do you have a favorite cartoon?
Our favorite show, Fraggle Rock.
Oh gosh, I will have to look.
It's not a cartoon, but it's like the Muppets. It's
Okay,
like the
okay.
Muppets. It's like the Muppets because it's like Kermit the Frog and Piggy and all them animals.
What
Like
is it called
that.
again?
It's called Fraggle Rock.
Froggle Rock. Okay, I'm
Fraggle
gonna
Rock.
look that up. And
No, you
last,
have to. I think your kids will like it. Tell me if they
okay,
do.
okay, okay. And last one, what brings you the most joy in life?
Um, honestly, is seeing people enjoy cannabis. Like finally, just really allowing themselves to be free enough to like, hit a joint
Yeah,
and not stereotype anybody else that's doing it.
yeah,
You
it's
know.
an energy that it's when you're around the events and you're around a space where everybody is enjoying the plant and is equally there for the love for the plant and has
Hmm.
this like energy of passion. It's moving for sure. So I can respect that. Thank you for answering our 7 grams for today and joining us on our Rich Soil podcast. Thank you again for everyone tuning in. Again, this is Ife with ETC. She is on Instagram. You can find it on YouTube. And yeah, is there any last words you want to say?
Thank you for having me, and everybody follow me, ETC_Everything Cannabis. That's me, and hopefully I will see a couple of you out. If you have any questions or if you need anything, let me know. I'm here for the community.
You heard it, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in.